Alrighty guys, so here we go talking about sex determination, incomplete dominance, and codominance. Now all these words are very big and you're probably sitting there saying, what? Okay, so this is where we're going to start talking about things that aren't so simple. So if you've ever seen like a spotted flower or one of those cows that looks like really spotted, or splotchy horses, those are examples of incomplete and codominance. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is when genetics gets kind of weird, okay, when things don't exactly go as simple as dominant covering recessive. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about, though, is sex determination. So how are you a boy? How are you a girl? That deal. All right, so first thing you should know is that the sex of the offspring is determined by the male parent. Okay, we talked a little bit about this when we did our smiley face lab. This is because females have two matching sex chromosomes. So inside your body you have 23 pairs of chromosomes. So 46 individual chromosomes, 23 pairs. All right, so what we're talking about is these last two chromosomes. The last two chromosomes are called the sex chromosomes. And those sex chromosomes are what determine whether you're a girl or a boy. In females, you have an X chromosome and an X chromosome. In males, you have an X and a Y. Now, we all know that when you're born, you get half of your genetics from your mom and half of your genetics from your dad. So this is what determines whether you're going to be a girl or a boy. Is your mom, all she has to give you is an X. That's it. Your dad, however, can either give you an X or a Y. That X or that Y that your dad gives you determines whether you're going to be a girl or a boy. Now, the chance of you becoming a girl or a boy is always 50%, right? Because all your mom has to give you is an X, period. That's it. Okay, so she only has an X to give you. Your dad, however, has a 1 in 2 chance of giving you an X or a Y. So that's 50%, right? Always 50%. The chance of the offspring being produced, a boy or a girl, is always, always, always 50%. And that's because your mom has an X to give you and that's it. Your dad, however, has a 1 in 2 chance of giving you an X or a Y. All right. That's pretty easy stuff. Very simple, concrete. Now moving on to something that requires a little bit more of abstract thinking is incomplete dominance. Incomplete dominance is the blending of traits. Okay, this occurs when a dominant allele does not completely cover a recessive allele. So you take black and white and you get gray. It's a blending of the two traits. All right. Or you take red and white and get pink. That's what people most commonly think about, because this most commonly occurs in flowers. Okay, doesn't really necessarily occur in animals all that much, but it occurs a lot in flowers, mostly with red and white flowers and you getting pink. Okay, so incomplete dominance is the blending of traits. Okay, it's the blending of traits. So when you think about incomplete dominance, think about blending in, incomplete, blending in. Okay, so this is when the dominant does not completely cover the recessive and you get a mix of the two. Black and white equals gray, blue and red equals purple. Y'all know your colors, that deal. Okay, all right, that is incomplete dominance. All right, now we're going to talk about codominance. This is when both dominant and recessive alleles are expressed. Okay, so instead of a blending of the two, you get both of them that are expressed. You can see the red and you can see the white. You can see the white and you can see the brown. You can see the blue and the red. You can see the black and the white. Okay, so this is when you have two distinct colors. You have both the dominant and the recessive being expressed. They're both being expressed. There's no blending occurring here. You're not mixing them. You can see both of them. Okay, so think about codominance. Okay, both of them are dominant. Neither one covers the other. They're both dominant colors because they're both being expressed. Okay, got that? Pretty easy stuff. Now, the weird stuff is when it comes into making it into a Punnett square. So what I want you to do is switch over to the next label, and that's where we're going to talk about how you illustrate incomplete dominance and codominance in a Punnett square. All right, so you have some questions to answer on this slide. If you need to go back and rework it or copy them down, do that. And then after you're done with these questions for this PowerPoint, what I want you to do is move on and answer the questions about how you illustrate incomplete dominance and codominance in a Punnett square. All right, so that wasn't too bad, not too shabby. All right, I will catch you guys in just a few.